All right, so we're back in Blender, and for the fern, we are gonna pretty much look at this one. Honestly, like it's a good example. Uh, the way I was thinking to do this was to make the main part of the plan, as in like plant, as in the so to speak, trunk, if you can call it that, the main branches, and then make smaller branches on the side. But before, we need to gather some materials. Uh, Greetings, this is Nick from the future once again, but this time I come bearing gifts. So I'm aware that what I am about to do now in the tutorial series, yeah, it's gonna be annoying for some of you because I'm gonna be using some paid for textures. And at first, when I was doing that, I thought, well, they can just either pay for those textures from textures.com, or they can literally just, go and hand paint some by following some tutorial that I might link into the description. But I decided, shit, these guys are putting a ton of effort, into making this asset, and I can help. I was like, screw it. So I went out and got some shots of one of my palm trees that I have outside, and I made some maps. So this is what you get in the little pack that I made, which I'll put the link into the description to download it. So there is going to be the alpha map, there is going to be the AO, there is the color, there is the displacement, there is the normal, and there is the roughness, specular, and translucency map. So there is pretty much everything. And inside Blender, they will look like this. This is what they look like. To be honest, they will look much better once you make an asset with them, and also once you import them into Unreal. They will look a bit different now. The shading, I'm also missing AO, and also the bump map. I mean, there is the displacement in, to be fair, which I didn't want. And the bump map is really strong. I'm gonna put it at 0.2. And now if I go back, you will see that it actually looks much better. There you go. The bump is not as strong as it was, not as invasive. Cool. And I made a little bit of a branch of a palm tree. It was super straightforward. I just made you can still see it. I just made a radial array, like with one only of the two reference leaves that I had. Obviously, I couldn't be arsed, to be honest. It's just I just wanted to test if it looked good, and it does. It looks quite good. Yeah, I mean, just made you will see how I do it later. I made it a little bit different in the tutorial, but I mean, if you want to do it the way I did it, which is more like a classic palm tree branch, you just like set the origin point to the end here, make a radial array around it. You make it go all the way around. Then what you do is that you select, I mean, you apply it, you select all of the branches, right? And because it's going to be one object, you're going to select everything into edit mode and separate by loose parts by hitting P. And then just delete the bottom ones and just grab one on top, put proportional editing on random, hide this, and you can just scale them like such. See? So you can make some funky designs and lots of variation. And that's pretty much it. This is way easier to do than what I did in the tutorial, to be fair. And see, you can change the seed of the random scaling. Honestly, this is not very realistic, as in like it normally doesn't look like this. So yeah, like if you go do it, you should probably do something like this, and with some variations. So use also the other texture, the other part of the other leaf. Because I believe here I only use this one. You can also use this one. You can still also scale it down and use another part of it, so make it look a bit different. And that's, the stem. So you should have everything you need to follow with the tutorial. I'll see you soon. See this before. Cool. So this is actually what we want. This is a proper atlas, yeah? Since I'm using it for showcase purposes, I'm gonna download the 1K texture. Like otherwise you would use the 512 by 512. What I'm gonna do is gonna go back to Blender, And I'm gonna set the origin point. Let's see, I'm gonna go vertical, set the origin point somewhere like here. So the question is, how do we want to do this? We want to use the, oh, yeah, we probably want to use just a bunch of planes and just make it as simple as possible, which would look actually nice. Yeah, I'm gonna make a bunch of branches and just combine them all. Like, so first of all, I'd make a plane. I'll just scale it down. You know, like we can actually change the overall scale later, but I want to pretty much. By the way, I'm not a vegetation artist. Like I am. I've never done much vegetation, so I'm not so good at it. I'm more of a like a hard surface artist. Like some guys doing vegetation are absolutely insane. I respect their work a lot, and I wish I was that good, but like I'm not. Pretty basic with this sort of stuff. I always wanna work with reference, so some of them are pretty curved. Like, you know, for example, these main thingies. So what I'm aiming for is for now to leave them straight actually, but I do want to give them a little bit of a. Actually, let's make them a bit bigger, like a few cuts, so that I can then, well, maybe a bit more, so that I can then just bend them the way I want. Well, that's fine. Let's see, then for the leaves, I think I'm gonna just make them a bunch of planes and just literally like overlay them to these. Anyway, it's out they're alpha, so it's gonna be fine. Yeah, so let's actually do that. So we're gonna grab a plane again, reduce the size and move it, and I'm just gonna scale it to the Y. Cool. I'm gonna apply rotation and scale this one as well. And I'm actually gonna duplicate it a few times. I think 4, maybe 5 different leaves is enough. I think so. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go into UV editing. Should still be selected, yeah. And I'm gonna go project from view. And then just gonna make a new material, call it PoM. And what I want to do is go into the shading and actually use the node wrangler. So Control Shift T, and I want to go into the downloads and just select all these, and there you go. Make principal shader. Did it work properly? Yeah, translucency didn't, but we don't really care. That's fine. We do not need to care. So back into UV editing. We can then just go into the material viewer. Obviously, this is the only one with the material, so we will Control L and link materials. Perfect. Now, it's showing me the what is this? The height, but what I want to see, it's actually the albedo, so the color. And what we're gonna do is that we're gonna grab one and reposition it just like this. Now, what I want to do is I want to bring it right to the bottom. You see, like here. Actually, maybe a little bit more. Yep. And then what I will do is that I'm gonna grab this this edge right here, and I'm gonna set the origin point to this edge right there, so that the origin is gonna line up. First, I would have to control, yeah, to select it, and then origin to 3D cursor. No, Jesus. Why? Stupid. I cannot perform that. Okay. origin to 3D cursor. Obviously it did the same for all the others, so we can just honestly delete them for now, because we just did it for this one, and there you go. So now we can grab this one, go into edit mode, select it, and it's not appearing because I'm not into the UV editor anymore. Cool, now I am. And just move it onto another leaf like that. Then you can grab this one, edit, select it, and also move it onto another leaf. Yeah, this one has the other one clipping in a little bit, so I'm gonna move it up slightly. And this one, which one do we give it? Maybe a bit of a longer one. Cool. Nice. So we have 4 leaves now. I want them about as basic as they possibly can be. I will, however, give them all like some loop cuts, because I might want to bend the leaf slightly, and maybe also one along the middle. So yeah, so let's give it one along the middle and 3 cuts like this. So now I can just, actually, let me grab this one as well. So I can just select these and bring them down slightly. So to give them a little bit of depth, right? So that's gonna work. Then what I want to do is that I want to grab these points, and we can just click on this, which is gonna be selecting whatever is in the vicinity. Obviously, I want to have connected only, and just kinda like see reduce and maybe rotate them on what X. Yeah. And something like this, I reckon. Yeah, something like this will do. Now, for the stem, well, that's gonna be a bit annoying because they are curved. This one's kinda straight. Because the stem I was thinking of actually modeling it, like really like on top of it. Not even joking. Because then we can just put these like really close. Well, first of all, I can just unwrap it, and there you go. I mean, I think I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna rotate it, and I'm gonna overlay it to this. And yeah, I mean, I think I'll just follow the flow. I'll click O, by the way, to do the thingy. Like, what's this even called? I forgot. Proportional editing. And what we will do is I will actually just grab and move the vertices so that we follow the flow of this thing. Now I'm gonna scale it down, but it's not the best way to do this. But right, so now it looks like this, but here's the thing. Now I gotta do the same, but for this one, then I have to scale it down. Of course, it doesn't have the material on, so we apply PoM material. And I am pretty sure that shit, which one is the beginning part? Hold on. Let's click on this. Yeah, so that's the beginning part. So basically, we grab this end part, O, for proportional editing, and we just scale Yeah, like that is fucking. Yeah, this is actually okay. It's not too bad. Could be worse. Okay, so we are gonna grab like one of these, duplicate it, and rotate it on the Y. No, see, my bad. Scale it up and start by positioning it like here. Maybe scale it up a bit more. Grab another one, scale it up, rotate it. Yep, that looks good. And grab another one, rotate it, scale it. Now, like I said, I'm not a vegetation artist, so there are way better ways of most likely doing this. Eventually, I will become a good vegetation artist, but that day is not today. I used to be pretty good at it now, like, I haven't done this in a very long time. So, this is fine. We can just keep on duplicating these. Try and give it a bit of variation, like don't make them all like the same length, like some of them a bit longer. Like this one is fine. Cool, and now we can just start, you know, like since we basically used all of them, start grabbing these and duplicate them and move them slightly off, you know, so that they don't look the same. These look really similar though. Gotta admit. Which one is this one? And this one, the straight one. Okay. Okay. Keep on laying them like that. Actually, no. A bad idea. Yeah, so this one is only on this side, actually, so... good. Maybe bring it here, use this one here. Made an oopsie there. But it's fine. That's good. And then we can just add a couple extra ones. Maybe just one, it's fine. Okay, cool. We have our cute little fern now. I mean fern, sorry. Oh, palm branch. Hell, however you want to call it. It looks fine. Now what we can do is we can just literally just merge it into one object. And we can select the base and bring the cursor there and just slap the geometry there so that now that's the base. And also we can introduce some variation. So for example, we duplicate this that we just made. And then we can just go to edit mode, grab the top, just proportional editing, and we can rotate it on the X. That's fine. And yeah, we can just make it a bit more like this. Maybe if we want, we can just grab this one and lower it slightly, like such. And There is also a trick. You can use random and just grab one edge, sorry, one vertex, and just, for example, GZ, and just kind of like move them up or down. And as you can see, it's gonna jag everything around a little bit and make it a bit more randomized. Like, I think it's pretty good like that. Now, if you don't want to use too much proportional editing, because it goes a bit everywhere, just grab a few of these. And then you just use proportional editing, but less, like, less intense. So you don't grab too much stuff, and you just move them up and down, and yeah, you're left with that. So that's pretty good. We can then again duplicate it. And we can do the same. Cool, then we can go back to smooth, grab this, and just RX. Maybe make it a bit more like this. Maybe we can get rid of a leaf or a couple. Okay. Nice. Now another thing you can also do is obviously change some of these leaves disposition. The I mean, like, one way is to actually go back and make another one of this. But to be honest, you can also, for example, go into edit mode and select a bunch. So maybe actually all of the ones that were here, for example, proportional editing, I'm assuming, is still on. Yep, and you can just move them to here. See, gotta make sure that it's positioned correctly. Scale it up slightly, move it on the Y. Yeah, and now we have completely different looking leaves. Same for these. We can do exactly the same. Bring them on the side. And it's actually fine. Wonder if, yeah. Don't remember the shortcut for this. Shift Alt Z. Not happening. Okay, that looks pretty good. Also, we can grab these and also bring them somewhere else. Like that. Well, this is literally only one. What the hell? Interesting. And these, wow, that's a lot. They're all in a succession. Interesting. We can also grab them and move them someplace else. That's fine. So we get a little bit of a different looking one. So now we have 3, right? This last one, by the way, also we can just maybe get rid of a couple leaves. Cool. And also maybe grab one of the vertices, turn on proportional editing, and just, move it, rotate it. Yeah, maybe that's a bit of a weird rotation to have. Maybe a bit less. There you go. Cool. Yeah, we can make this a little bit longer, maybe. This one maybe a bit shorter. Yeah, that works too. Cool, and we have some variation now. Now I want the main branch as well. So yeah, there's the main branch, and it's gonna branch out itself of the main branch. Yeah, whatever. Like, we're gonna come up with something similar. So we grab this, duplicate it, and move it. To be fair, this one actually does have a pretty long stem. Let's see if it's gonna look like garbage or if it's like actually decent. Hmm. Yeah, no, it looks like shit. Right. So we grab this one. What do we want to do with it? Thinking of an efficient way of doing this without going absolutely insane, but I cannot find any. So we're just gonna grab it, rotate on the X to, yeah, something like that, honestly. And maybe we can duplicate it and move it. And just go into edit mode and rotate it on the X again, like that. I think that's it. I don't need any more than that. Cool. So now we can start actually building it. So we duplicate this and we rotate it on the X of 90 degrees. We want the origin point obviously to be at the bottom. So Shift S, cursor to selected. We get out, origin to 3D cursor. Now we can start building it out. So I'm still gonna grab the top. Actually, probably just make it a bit taller and just rotate it like on the X a little bit. Maybe on the Y too. Right. I am also gonna turn on, yeah, vertex edge and face snapping. That's fine. Then what I want to start doing now is, well, first of all, see now the origin, it's messed up. Like we want to fix this because otherwise it's not gonna stick correctly to stuff. Why this happened? Because we moved into edit mode. When you move stuff into edit mode, the geometry doesn't care. Sorry, the origin doesn't care. It's just gonna stay there. So what we want to do is, again, cursor to selected. Of course, I'm in edit mode, and the geometry, so the origin to the 3D cursor. Cursor to selected, geometry to 3D cursor. Cool. Now I'm gonna grab this first one. Actually, no. Before I do that, I have to, by the way, do the same to these. Cool. We can just go use this thingy here. It's like an emitter. We just use hair. Great. Looks fantastic. So we can render this as a collection, to be fair. And we can make a collection out of these two. So let's do that. Make a new collection. Call it stems. I don't know. Stems, it seems the sensible thing to call them. Instance collection. We select it. And yeah, great. Not exactly what we want, but we'll fix it. So the scale is a bit small. I would increase it a little bit. Scale randomness as well. The number, obviously, something like 5, maybe 6. Something like that. Length is fine. But we want to rotate them. So, well, first of all, we put random. Second of all, I don't remember if it was in hair dynamics. No, it's not. It was in advanced, I think. Yeah. Rotation. So, I think along the normal, it's fine. Yeah, something like that. Then you can tweak the phase and the randomized phase, but they're all facing one direction, which is... yeah, of course, because the... that's actually how it works. Like, it's on this face, and it's just putting them like that. But see, maybe I'll do it like this. I don't know. Global Z, perhaps. Let's see. Yeah, much better. Okay, great. So, This is not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. And obviously, we can do the same for these, right? So, to these two, you can literally just grab these three idiots, make a collection out of them, call it leaves. I so suck at this. Okay, and then just, yeah, just shove them in here. Yeah, you can tell, like, I never wanted to be a botanist. Even though I love plants. Just so ignorant when it comes to them. Then, I think we can copy the particle settings of the first one. But, no, this is instancing stems. Never mind, that was dumb. You can go for hair again. This time we put it like 5 collection. Render as collection. Perfect instance collection is leaves. Great. And now, let's see. We go into advanced. We go back to rotation. This time is global X, isn't it? Is it? Yes, truly the stuff of nightmares. Well, first of all, I think the jittered is, yeah, this is better. And honestly, I think emit from vertices is probably better here, rather than faces, because we kind of don't want it to emit from the faces. I'll put 10, so a better idea on what the hell is happening. Yeah, on global Z is just a little bit weird, honestly. It's not the best, in my opinion. Yeah, that's not that is not how it should look, but yeah, funny enough, it's not even showing here. I'm wondering if it's because I should probably apply the modifier. I think if I apply this thing, it's actually gonna work because it has a modifier as a particle system. And if I apply it, it just explodes for some reason. Make instances real. Yeah, that's how it was. And theoretically, I should apply them to this, and then they will show up correctly, but now it just looks like a piece of whatever. So let's try to have it fixed up so that it looks good, first of all, because right now it really does not. I'm wondering actually if I should even be using these, to be fair. I could just, yeah, I might as well just straight up use the ferns and be done with it. Let me try that. So instead of using that collection of the stems, I might try to use the leaves collection. Honestly, that looks so much better. I mean, this one's rotated as shit, but yeah, I mean, it's not so bad, is it? Just increase it. Fucking, there you go. So messy. Nah, jokes aside, something like, yeah, something like that is not completely disgusting, as in, like, it's not the best thing you've ever seen, but it's also not the worst. Come on. Randomize rotation. What about object Z? Yeah, it's a bit weird, but you know what? I don't hate it. Like, maybe level Z was a better, but yeah, I don't hate it, honestly. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is when you're making these, and there is the alpha, it just actually looks way fuller than it actually will look later. you might want to crank up the number like a little bit, because it may seem full of stuff, but it really isn't. Like later on when you're gonna look at it, it's not gonna look that good. We can just duplicate it and yeah, just literally actually just start positioning it correctly, to be fair. It's obviously huge, and if we size it down, it's not really gonna work because the size of the thingies will stay the same. If we size it down, we also have to reduce the hair length. Yeah. Doesn't this look fantastic? Yeah, I gotta get into vegetation art a little bit. I absolutely suck at it. Okay, that is not terrible. We can then proceed to duplicate it one more time. Edit mode. Grab this and rotate it. Yeah, proportional editing, obviously. Don't rotate it all of the way. There you go. That looks nice. A little bit different. What the hell? It's just deactivated 1 second. Yeah, I was trying to rotate it on the Z. Okay, cool. Thank you. Then we can turn it back on. You know, maybe we can duplicate it and snap it back and just, you know, change slightly the direction, reduce the number. Wonder. Obviously the seed as well of this one, this particular one. Yeah, that's not terrible, but it is gonna clip, so it might still clip slightly, but if we see a clipping, we can just remove a couple. That's gonna be fine. Once again, we duplicate it and we'll rotate it, maybe scale it up slightly, and scale this one down, and also rotate it and move it. We can then change the seed. And yeah, this might actually work. It's not my best work, I'll admit, but it's quick, roughly, for my standards at least. And yeah, it will give you some acceptable, passable results. And besides, it will work for games because it's extremely low poly and the textures are not insane. Okay. Now the next step will be to actually apply these. So we make the instances real and we apply. So now these are actual instances at this point. If there is something we don't like, that's why it's cool. If there is something we don't like, so we make also this instance is real and we apply it. Now, for example, this one is gonna be maybe clipping the glass, so we can remove it altogether. Or if we don't exactly want to remove it, we can literally just remove part of it like that. I mean, not exactly like this, but you get what I'm saying. Or we can just, guess what, rotate it. That is also now an option. We can also make this instances real, and you know, can start rotating some things if we don't like them. Like we can make it look a bit fuller, you know. That if we don't exactly like how one of them looks, we can turn it, see, like this. You know, like you can, believe me, you can spend a lot of time doing this. You know, tweak it and refining it if you really want, for the purpose of attempting at least to keep this tutorial series brief. I'm gonna move a little bit faster. Yeah, I like the look like this. Okay. And we made the instances real here as well. Now, first thing you want to do is Alt H, unhide. we did a pretty good job. Look at that. Like, not much is clipping, like just a very little bit, like here. But that's the only thing. That's not bad, actually. That's not bad. I thought it was gonna be way worse. Cool. Now, if you hit render, you can actually see how they look, because when you render, it's not gonna render the alpha. So yeah, that's pretty much how they end up looking. Like, I need to actually hide this, but yeah, they'll look like this. See, this is what I was saying. Like, it looks like really thick when you're making it, but eventually when you go render it and you see it rendered, it's not that thick at all. Like, it just they may have seemed really thick, but they actually look pretty anemic now. So if in your opinion they look too anemic, you can always go in and, you know, duplicate one, snap it back, rotate it, you know, however you like. Maybe go back into material view and just, yeah, rotate it as you feel. Yeah, hey, move it slightly, duplicate it again, and then, you know, rotate it again, and maybe resize it slightly, and then make another one, rotate it again, resize it. You know, like go check it out, how it looks. Yeah, nice. I mean, you can go crazy with this, right? You can just like spend a whole day doing this thing. But you know, it achieves, in my opinion, the result that we set out to do. So I will just keep it like this. But one important thing that we want to do is that we actually want to group them up, because this is a lot of objects. Okay, this is a ton of them. So we don't want this. So we want to split them into 3 plants. So I'm just gonna, you know what, hide everything but those. Cool. And I'm gonna go into front view and with the X-ray on, so I'm sure I'm selecting everything. I am going to merge them all. Yeah, yeah, I'll merge them. Now you don't necessarily need to, but I'll do it. Keep in mind that I left a copy there, so if I, you know, if I want, I can always go back, grab it, and just move it there and tweak it, so that I'm not stuck, you know, with this. To be fair, if I really wanted to, I could have just made a copy out of one of these. But yeah, you know what? Actually, I might. This is still divided, yeah. So I'm gonna actually duplicate it, move it like back here somewhere for now, and slap it in a new collection. If I can even find them at this point, Jesus. So cool. And yeah, we can hide these, so we don't need them anymore. And now, once again, in frontal view, we're just gonna grab all these and Control J, and Jesus Christ, whatever happened here? Why did they explode? Something is definitely going on here. I need to figure out what. The modifiers are... Oh. Could that be it? No, these look like instances. And there is no modifier on, so... Yeah. Remove this. Remove this. I wonder, you're gonna give me grief still? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Select this, make it the active object, and then I'll select this and make it the active object. So, I think the origins are fine. Honestly, I'm not gonna touch the origins because pretty sure I can leave them as a part of the main object. We can use the these three. We can put them straight into the incubator, to be honest. They have their own material, so we'll just set it up into Unreal. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm not gonna waste too much time on the plant because in the end, this is supposed to be a tutorial mostly for decal creation, trim sheet creation, and how to how to work and translate between Unreal and Blender. Like that's the part that it's the most important one. So this is a bit all secondary. Right, so now we can attempt to, we'll see if everything explodes or if it works fine. Go to Unreal Engine and export. Moment of truth. Will it explode? No, it will not. Actually looks okay. Even without material, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah. Not too bad. Look at this. Ah, the light from above makes it look real nice. Sweet. That's actually not terrible. Damn. Okay. Okay. We can work with this. So, yes. So now what we want to do, go back into the static mesh. No, actually, no. What's static mesh? Materials, master materials. And we're gonna make a new material and call it mm_PoM. Cool. Then we want to go into the textures and make a new folder, call it PoM. Open it and slam everything in here. Yeah, that exactly. So we have albedo. Now the translucency, I'm not exactly sure how to do it. Might have to actually look into this because this is gonna and also the opacity, because this is not, it should be masked because yeah, it needs to be. I can do a quick test on this, but this is the mask. Yeah, see, good. Cool. I'm gonna quickly have a look at translucency because this is it should be because plants are pretty much like slightly translucent. Like there is some translucency element, as in like when they're lit, they don't behave like a solid object. They look a little bit different. So I'm gonna look into it one sec. Okay, yeah, I basically figured out how to use translucency correctly. So once again, we're gonna have our color into the base color, the alpha texture into the opacity mask. Then we can have the height. Should we even use the height? Nah, no need. But we will use the normal. So normal goes in. Ah, yeah. See, there's a nice bump map now popping up. Roughness will obviously go into the roughness. Sweet. And now the translucency. So if you don't know what translucency is, there are a ton of tutorials that will explain you what it is. But basically, if we don't use translucency for foliage, it's gonna look like a plastic leaf. Yeah, like it's gonna look weird. What translucency allows us to do is basically make the leaf more organic. Like our skin works in a very similar way. Like if you shine a light, like a really bright light, through your finger or your ear or any part of your body that is like not really thick, you will see through it. And this is exactly the same concept for plants. Like if you don't get that effect, it's very subtle, but your eye knows and can tell. Like there are things that you might think are too technical, but your eye can tell and other people can tell as well, like without experience, in 3D or anything like that. It's just that our brain is so used to see certain materials reflect light or scatter light in a certain way that when that doesn't happen, it feels off. And we know why, because we work with the 3D, but a lot of people don't know why, but they can still tell. And that's important to get these kind of things right, otherwise stuff is gonna look off. So we can click on the material, and into the shading model, instead of default lit, we can put where is it, foliage, two-sided foliage. So this allows us to have the backside as well. We cannot see it from here, but there is going to be the backside as well. And at the same time, it's going to give us subsurface color as well. And we can plug the RGB directly into subsurface color. Now you see they're brighter, right? Now if I apply and save, we go back to the showroom. And yeah, the material is not on yet. So SM incubator. And on PoM, we can put, oh yeah, it's the master material, but we're gonna make a material instance afterwards. We apply and save it. Now we can see it. There you go. Now we have our beautiful little palms coming out. Isn't that cute? Very nice. Looks convincing enough. The stems don't look like they're showing for some reason, because I didn't click two-sided. And today, bro, what is going on? Okay. Ah, there you go. That's my boy. Now that looks great. Fantastic. Look at this. Ah, sweet. Sweet, sweet. Once again, it's not spectacular, right? I didn't do a fantastic job with the foliage, but hey, it's enough. Like, it serves its purpose. Like, look at it. It's pretty good. I like it. Like, when you look at it like from here, you're like, oh, this is pretty convincing. This is good. Good. And I didn't waste a ton of time making it absolutely perfect. Once again, also because I'm not a foliage artist, but this serves the purpose. So we will keep it. Right, I think we're at a good point. Model is basically done. We need to now get into the fun part, which is making the trim sheets. I will see you soon. I encourage you to come to the Discord, to our very full of people Discord. It's literally just a bunch of us, but that's the thing. Like, this course is new, and the Discord is like a bit old, but you know, I never really used it much. But for the course, I really wanted to use it because I want to see what you guys are up to. I want to see your progress. I want to see if you took some artistic liberties. Maybe you had different ideas. Hey, maybe they were better than mine. I want to see them. Okay, so come on over. Like, click on the link in the description and post your artwork and share your progress. Like, for now, there is only, well, James that posted, but very nice. But yeah, I would like to see what you lot are working on and how it turns out. There is also a troubleshooting part, so in case you run into some trouble or you just have questions, you can just, you know, write them down in here and I'll answer as soon as I can. Anyway, keep up the good work, and I'll see you in the next one.